Hi, you Subway Surfer strap hangers. Elgin Subway Surfer Bowling here, your creative caricature marketing consultant. I decided that I would like to do a caricature cartooning tutorial drawing everyone's favorite villain, the Joker. Let's get started. I decided that it would be best for me to do this right from the beginning so that you can see the process of how this is done. As always with my caricatures, I always start out with a very distinct and humorous head shape, something that I learned early in my caricature career from caricature artist extraordinaire Jan Obdebeek. My dog's going to be barking in the background, giving commentary. I have no idea what he's saying, but I guess he's approving. But I digress. Yeah, I decided to give him kind of a pizza-shaped haircut, a pizza-shaped head shape. Tongue twister there. I block in the features in a very loose type of way because all of this is going to be erased later on and things are going to be defined. And this is what beginning artists have to realize. You don't need to draw the whole character in one shot. I used to do that as a beginner, and it only resulted in a lot of frustration and a lot of erase pictures, unnecessary erasures. Yeah, you do everything smooth, fast, quick, because what you want to do, you want to breathe life into the cartoon drawing that you're doing. And I find the best way to breathe life into a picture is to do it as fast as I can. What I do next is I go a layer lower and I start playing with the brightness and contrasting features. The app that I'm using is Art Studio, and you can use any other app that you'd like as long as it has the capacity to lower the opacity. Wow, didn't even mean to make that rhyme. But that's what you want to do. You want to lower the opacity of this sketch because I know that I'm going to go in and ink it. And later on, what I'll do is I will erase the undersketch. Now, if I was drawing this live, I would do the exact same thing. Only what I would do is I would draw it with a very light pencil sketch, or I would use probably a highlighter, a yellow or green highlighter. This is what I used to always do when caricaturing on the street. Incidentally, if you're going to do that, if you're going to use this technique on the street, what you want to use is a paper called photo laser gloss. That way, if you're doing it with a yellow highlighter, it'll just look like it's part of the picture being colored. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. Just basically going over the line work. At this stage here, this is where you make little subtle adjustments. You don't have to follow the pattern perfectly. You know, I know the basic idea of where I want the features to be positioned, and in the process of tracing them, you know, I make other decisions. This is perfectly fine. Because I think that when you're sketching, the picture should be an enjoyable spirit. What happened? As an enjoyable experience for you as it is for people watching. Good thing about this is, and I encourage this since this is a tutorial, I encourage you to jump in and follow along. Okay, you can always go back and rewind it, you know, but when I was first learning caricature as a beginner, I used this monkey see, monkey do method where I would follow along with my teachers. And although the results weren't exact, they were very close, and I learned the method, which is what they wanted to teach me anyway. You learn by doing, folks. Okay, right now, I'm putting in the jacket, the tie. One thing that's kind of crazy about the Joker is he was always a very dapper dresser. And you kind of, yeah, yes, I agree, Royal. I agree. Absolutely, he was. Yeah, he was very dapper dresser, and I always wondered, where is this guy buying his clothes? I mean, does he have a tailor? Does he do it himself? Does he kill the tailor afterwards? How much is he paying for these suits? They're gorgeous. Okay, so I'm inspecting my line work to see that it's all right. Okay. And now what I'm probably going to do, I'm going on the first layer, the original one, and I'm going to start erasing now. There we go. Starting to erase it, seeing it all come together. When drawing villains, if you're going to use a cartoony method like I'm using here, when drawing villains, you want to make the features what I call kind of pointy. Make them kind of dangerous. Hope that makes sense. But it's an excellent method so that your viewers know exactly the personality or the persona of your character. Now, I know this character design doesn't look like the Joker that you're used to, but if we are creators, let's be creators. We know basically what the Joker looks like, and there's no need to draw the Joker like he's been drawn before. This is your own original cartoon rendition of the Joker. Rather, this is mine. When you do yours, you can do your own. And like I said, you can use this as a trainer to follow along when you're creating your own cartoon caricature designs. If you decide to do this, I'd love to hear it. Now, my wife is scheduled to come in, so she might just ruin this whole recording. Hope that she doesn't. But if she does, I'm just going to turn this thing off and you're going to view this thing in silence. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. Okay, now I'm starting the color phase. This is the fun phase. If you're using the Art Studio app, what you want to do at this point, you want to pick another layer and you want to put it on multiply so that you can see the under sketch, but not go over the black lines. You don't want to do that. If you're using some other type of program, I'm sure that you can do the same thing. Put it on a multiply feature, and now you can color without fear. Okay, I'm really deciding on the particular shade of green that I want to make that eye. So I'm going to go through a couple of renditions of it. This is what I decided on for now. Sometimes in the course of painting, what happens is you decide that's not the color that you wanted exactly, or somehow it doesn't fit. So it's perfectly fine to make these decisions. Not a finished product yet. It's a process. And for you beginning artists out there, just remember that it's all a process. Nothing is written in stone. The rules are what you make them. Oh boy, does that sound cornball. The rules is what you make them. Okay, I'm trying to add some more life to the actual eye. This will become clear what I'm doing in the latter stages of this. As you can see here, I was unsatisfied with the color of the hair and opted to do a darker color. Again, this is the Art Studio app. I'm using an iPad Pro. This app is very inexpensive. It goes for the ridiculous price of FREE. I'm sure that can fit anyone's budget, but you have to order it from the App Store. What I love about Art Studio is that it acts like a Photoshop clone, at least for what I use it for, which is mainly sketching and coloring. Works perfect. we can go on and give him the lipstick. You ever wonder where the Joker buys his lipstick from? Does he buy it from Ebony Fashion Fair, Maybelline, Cosmetics, Mary Kay, or does he just use his own unique blend? Or, and this is more sinister, is it really lipstick at all? Dun dun dun. Maybe it's blood. Okay. Coloring the suit. In all of the Batman comics that I've ever read, the Joker's suits were purple. Which shows that the Joker was a Prince fan before Prince even came on the scene. Joker was doing the Purple Rain thing way back in the day. And for what I remember he did, he wore pinstripes on the suit. You know, I guess he chose the color because it kind of contrasts, you know, with his pale white albino coloring. Don't know if that's makeup or if that's really his coloring. It would be kind of wild if that's what he is. The Joker was an albino, and we thought that was makeup all the time. Okay, going into the tie. Trying to color coordinate here. Again, at this stage you can change your mind like I just did. Decided to go with the green. As crazy as the Joker is, I mean, he seems very, very cognizant of his fashion choices. You'll never see the Joker committing mayhem, wearing sneakers, a baseball cap, and a t-shirt. I guess he always does things in style. Okay, yeah, that's looking real good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add those pinstripes. Okay. I almost erased this caricature by accident, so I made sure to save it. Okay, yeah, actually we're coming up on the eyes, trying to make it a little more interesting looking, a little more lifelike and sinister. Whenever you're doing any kind of cartoon or caricature, you want to put a lot of detail and energy into the eyes. And it doesn't matter if they're photorealistic eyes or cartoony eyes that are just two circles like I have here. You want to infuse life into your drawing, and the best way to do that is definitely through the eyes. And so there are a couple of ways that you can infuse life into the eyes, and one way is to add a spot of white into the upper corners. You'll see that I've done that later. Okay, right now we're going with the pinstripes, usually using a complementary color to that purple, because like I said, the Joker is a fashion plate. Whenever you're doing a character, whether you're making one up or whether you're using as an established one, you want to have in your mind what his personality is, what his backstory is. I have a tendency to make up these little backstories as I'm drawing. It helps me to infuse life into the character. If you're able to do this, if you infuse life into the character, it's going to be communicated easily to your viewers. So you always have to keep that in mind, even if you're quote unquote drawing for yourself. Okay, I'm adding another layer here. Reason why I add layers is because if I want to experiment with something and it becomes a bad decision or if I mess up, I don't damage all of my work that I've done before. And that can definitely happen. I've learned that the hard way, and I'll never do it again. So if you have the opportunity to work with multiple layers, definitely use them. Do your initial sketch on one layer, you're inking on another, you're coloring on another, and if you're doing what I'm doing right now, your background on another. Red is a very powerful color. It represents life. To me, it's like it represents chaos and blood and all the craziness that surrounds the Joker. You know, what I'm trying to do is invoke a certain type of mood in the viewer. This is what you want to do also when you're doing any type of cartoon or caricature work. Okay, now I'm going to clean up spots where I see I've been a little sloppy with the coloring. I'm also going to include details like the teeth there. Who was your favorite Joker? My favorite was Mark Hamill's in the Batman animated series. Number one, because I'm a Star Wars fan and I couldn't believe Mark Hamill was doing the voice, but Mark Hamill had this maniacal way of laughing that truly made the Joker seem like he was absolutely nuts, like he was a madman. I really like that. Believe it or not, I really didn't like Jack Nicholson's Batman. I thought it was Batman, Joker. I thought it was I couldn't get over the fact that it was Nicholson. I couldn't get over. I tried, but every time I looked at him, I said, I don't believe it. Heath Ledger, much better. After seeing Heath Ledger in Brokeback Mountain, I was astounded when he did the Joker. Such a great actor. And he made Knight's Tale also, one of my favorite movies. But we're talking about the Joker. Now, this is my favorite part, and this is borrowed from Heath Ledger, the way he made himself up. A lot of dark makeup, where he looked like one of those 1970s rockers, acid rock, I think they used to call it, glam rock, whatever it was. They used a lot of heavy makeup around the eyes, and it only makes you look more sinister. It made the Joker look like he was looking out, like it was a skull looking out at you. Really like that word. It adds to the maniacal character. As you can see also, I've added the white highlights that I talked about earlier to the eyeballs. Now they're looking a lot more lifelike, a lot more sinister, which is the effect that we want. And I'm adding some shading to make the skin look more interesting, more three-dimensional. I can see now that I accidentally failed to clean up that little bit of green near the ear. I can always go back and fix that, but it's too late for the video. Okay, we're not going back though. Okay, now I'm giving a tinge of yellow in the teeth because again, Mark Hamill's Joker on the Batman animated series, his teeth were all yellow, which I thought was a bit over the top and kind of nasty, but I like the fact that they're just a little bit yellow. It has a slight bit of madness to the character, as does a little jaundice yellow in the eyes. Has a joke ever really told a good joke? Actually, he did tell a joke one time in the comics. He told a joke that Batman actually laughed at, and then he took him to prison. Does anybody in the audience remember the joke? If you do, put it in the comments section. Now, my wife may be coming in at any moment. She's going to be making noise and ruin the video, so please, if that happens, forgive me. Okay, now we're going to write Joker in graffiti style. We're almost done. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. For those of you who sat here long enough to see it, I applaud you. It went over longer than I expected it to, so I was hoping that you'd stay around until the end. Let me know in the comments section what you think, what I did right, what you feel I did wrong, what I could add to it, what I could subtract from it. Maybe I can just subtract next time talking so much. Whatever it is, let me know. Let's have some group participation. As always, if you liked what you saw, comment, like, and share. Especially, this is Elgin, Subway Surfer Bowling, your creative caricature marketing consultant.